Ceiste Cóig and Chuck to Joe Higgins and call on the Minister. Priority question number 5.
The aim of Jobsbridge is to assist individuals to bridge the gap between unemployment and the world of work. The scheme has made very significant progress since it came into operation in July 2011, with 17,609 internship placements having commenced to date. There are currently 6,104 participants, and there are 2,218 Jobsbridge vacancies available on the Jobsbridge website as we speak. The independent evaluation conducted by Indicon Economic Consultants, which I published recently, found that 61% of interns who finish placements secure employment within 5 months. These progression outcomes are exceptionally positive and compare very favourably with European averages in this area. The report does not state that 240 of the 7,300 companies surveyed are availing of the Jobsbridge scheme to displace paid jobs. The number of companies surveyed was 3,021, and the report finds that displacement only occurs in a very small number of cases, just 3% of the overall number of placements within the organisations responding to the survey. The Department takes breaches of the Jobsbridge scheme very seriously, and 17 companies have been disqualified from participating in the scheme due to breaches of the terms and conditions of the scheme. This action was taken by the Department following detailed examinations. While 17 companies have been disqualified, over 7,500 host organisations have commenced internships, and therefore the overwhelming majority of companies are abiding by the terms and conditions of the scheme. In order to protect the intern and to ensure the integrity of the Jobsbridge scheme, a variety of control measures and criteria are in place. These are designed to ensure that the internship does not displace an existing position, that it provides appropriate training and development experience, and that appropriate mentoring and support is provided to the intern. To ensure that the host organisation and intern are abiding by the rules of the scheme, we monitor on an ongoing basis the progress, and this involves regular review of monthly compliance reports and random monitoring site visits to facilitate discussions with both the intern and the host organisation. We've done over 2,000 monitoring visits to date, and 98% of these visits have been of a satisfactory nature. Where there's non-compliance, there's remedial action.
I have to share the time with the Deputy answer to the question. Deputy Higgins, 1 minute.
Minister, to give an accurate assessment, you would have to say that the 61% who secured employment, many of them were in other employments which had nothing to do with the internship. In fact, only 1 in 5 secured employment with the company they did the internship, and that's not taking into account a very large number of people who didn't finish the internships in the first instance. Indicon found 3% of companies admitting that they were displacing workers, and 3% of the 7,000 or so gives you 220. So that's a very considerable number of firms which it is reasonable to assume are abusing this scheme, and in fact probably many more who don't admit it. And are you aware that the extension of the scheme to craft and design in very small enterprises has now people within that sector widely talking about free labour being available? I have a communication from a jeweller, an honest jeweller, who wants to take on a worker at part-time at €10 an hour, but says getting an internship for this would be a total lie, because it's a low-skilled manufacturing job that can be learned in a week. But that is happening widely, and is going to happen very widely in this sector, creating huge problems for the honest employers and abusing the people who are being used in this way. And that's happening under your guidance and tutelage.
Margaret, Tara?
Well, I have to tell the Deputy that I meet individuals and employers and organisations constantly as I travel around Ireland who have had nothing but a positive experience on both sides. In fact, one of the things that really people who employ people come up to me and say is that they never appreciated the sheer calibre and quality of many of our people who unfortunately are without employment. And Jobsbridge is basically there to give them an opportunity to get work experience that will allow them to get their foot on the ladder of employment. One of the reasons, if you've read the Indicon report, Deputy, that people leave Jobsbridge is that in many cases they're working for a relatively short period of the internship in the organisation and they are actually offered further employment. They're taken on as a job because for many firms it's become actually, they see the calibre of the people and they take the people on. Furthermore, can I just say, about 40% of internships are with public or publicly funded organisations. Because of the embargo of taking on people, it's not possible for a lot of those organisations to take on people. But such is the calibre of the experience and the quality of a lot of the people that they move on, as the Indicon report shows, to actually get further employment subsequently, either because they now have a network or because they've been in touch with people who recognise through their network that these are people of skill and talent who really merit employment by an employer who has vacancies. So, I mean, it's been a very positive experience for many, many people.
For the supplementary.
There's widespread anecdotal evidence from people who have participated in this scheme and people who have examined some of the so-called internships that are being offered, that it is being highly abused as a means of cheap labour. Furthermore, 29% of employers surveyed said they were highly or fairly likely to take on an employee anyway if they hadn't taken on an intern. Can I put it to you, Minister, that what is needed is not trickery with figures to massage the tragic unemployment situation, but real measures and real investment to create jobs. Now, you made a name for yourself there 3 weeks ago by declaring that austerity had reached its limits. But you do absolutely nothing practical or concrete to put the consequences of that conclusion into effect. You walk in here an hour and a half ago and vote to cut the salaries of low and middle income workers and their working conditions and take more money out of the domestic economy. So can I put it to you that real measures are what is needed, real investment in emergency job creation in areas of infrastructure and services that will dent the massive and tragic unemployment figures to a real degree, not this excuse of a scheme.
Thank you, Deputy. Minister, final reply on this.
Well, can I just say I was very happy to co-author an article in yesterday's Guardian repeating what I said in my address to the Society of St Vincent de Paul, which is that Europe has to take action to actually reflate European economies and to put people back to work. Now, I have to say, I'm a practical kind of person, Deputy, and all my life in politics, what I've been interested in is getting the person, a young person. I worked for a long time in third-level education. Just let me tell you, Deputy, to me, it is a terrible, terrible thing in this country to see wonderfully qualified young people come out of college all around the country, from Donegal to Dublin to Cork, and then see that they've come into a very tight jobs market, and because they've no work experience, they can't, they have the qualifications, but they've no work experience. So an internship is actually meant to actually give them that experience. I know, you have grave difficulties with this concept, but believe you me, in other countries where it operates extremely well, it is to give people that degree of experience so they can subsequently find work. And Deputy, I have to tell you that they're doing that in all job schemes and placements, whether it's community employment, which I think you're on the record has been broadly in favour of. You do always have to be very careful about the issue of displacement.
Thank you,
now,
Minister.
Indicon Consultants are an independent consulting company which I understand have a very strong and positive recommendation. They went and they carried out their survey, their contacts with the people they interviewed in real time at my request. I didn't want to wait for 5 years to find out. I wanted to actually give you, people like yourself, who obviously are thoughtful about this kind of scheme, to give you the actual figures. They're not my figures, they're the figures of independent consultants, and I suggest, Deputy, that they offer food for thought as to how we get, particularly our young people, the people in the 20s and 30s who've come out of college and just can't find a job in this particularly tight employment market.